Jason here in Minneapolis. You have 1,000 very excited fans here.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Hello, Jason. Hello, everybody there.
Well, Danny, I'll be moderating this for you. We have a ton of questions, so we're not going to waste any time. Just identify yourself when I point to you, speak loudly, use your outside voice, and we'll get started right over here.
Hi. I have a question about how the movie will relate to the play, the original play. Since it was basically two guys putting on a play that one of them wrote about his life, is that going to be an aspect in the film?
No, I mean, the play obviously is a huge, for those who don't know, is the second longest running play in London. It's been running for 21 years. It's a two-hander. It's a brilliantly devised, brilliantly staged version of the book. But we're not really related to the play as much as our source material for us was the original book. And so I mean so certain things have changed, like whereas in the book it is, as you said, a man looking back on his life as a retrospective. We don't have that in the film. It's set in as far as our character's concerned, there's no element of it being a flashback. It's all set in present time. There are, it still feels like a very intimate production for a film, because it is a small cast, but obviously in terms of staging it with just two people, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. And right over here, what's your name?
All right, my name is John. Mr. Radcliffe, how are you? You look really good.
I'm very well.
All right, so obviously you received a lot of press for your role in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. How was the preparation for The Woman in Black different from that? Was it a hard transition to make necessarily, or obviously they're two very different productions?
It was kind of odd because we were. I finished filming Potter last year. Just shout out whenever you recognise a word. So I finished filming Potter in July, and then we had, there was about 2 months between finishing that and starting Woman in Black filming. So around that time it was kind of weird because I was rehearsing sort of 9 hours a week dance rehearsal and 6 hours a week singing rehearsal, whilst for this kind of very bright, fun, joyous kind of musical, and at the same time I was preparing for this demoralised, devastated, introspective, detached character at the same time. So it was kind of a weird balance finding both at the same time, but it's one of those moments where as an actor you just kind of have to celebrate the situation that you're in, because having two such different, such exciting jobs to juggle at the same time is a blessing and something that any actor is very, very grateful for.
Right over here, what's your name?
Thank you.
My name is Justin. Daniel, how does this role compare to others you've played in previous shows like this?
I think this film as a whole is definitely the darkest film that I've ever been involved in. I mean, it's Potter has a lot of dark moments, but there was so much comedy and light relief and romance and things for people to, so it wasn't just unmitigated darkness for 2.5 hours, which this film kind of is in some ways. I mean, it's an hour and a half of keeping the audience in a state of tension for the whole time. In terms of the part, there are a few kind of differences in that. Obviously, I'm playing a father in this film, so I'm playing a little bit older than myself, not that much. I mean, I think I was 21 when I shot it, and I think we put him at around 25. So it's not a huge leap to make. But so yeah, there were a few, and also this is the first, this is the least verbal part I've ever had. I mean, there's about 20 minutes in the middle of this film with no dialogue, and it's just me walking around this house. And I have to say, it's also the most compelling exciting 20 minutes of the film. So there's, and I don't take any credit for that, that's our director. So I suppose those were some of the main challenges with this film, was playing a character. Also, I have very high energy, I'm quite a hyperactive kind of person. So to play a character that has such low energy all the time, the kind of light has been taken out of him by the circumstances of his life. And so he has very little energy and is kind of in a state of depression, which I think leads to a kind of sense of fatigue and exhaustion. Just because in talking to a few of my friends who suffer with depression, the theme that comes up again and again is just how exhausting it is. How, it is an effort to get out of bed in the morning. And that's kind of where you find my character at the beginning of the film. There was lots of good, different stuff to explore and challenge me, and working with James Watkins, our director, on that stuff was one of the most fun parts of the whole film.
Next question right here.
Hi, this is from Mariah Garcia. A lot of people and actors fall in love when they're making love movies. Did you yourself ever get scared in the making of this?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think it's one of those awkward things that people always say. Did anything funny happen or did anything scary happen? And you just want to go, well, no, but we had a good time still. In terms of anything scary, the only thing that came close to something actually scary happening was I was walking around the house we were filming in one day, and I just happened to walk past a room, and as I just in the periphery of my vision, I just glimpsed the woman in black for a second, and then I looked back and it was just Liz White, who plays the woman in black in costume eating a sandwich. So it wasn't, those scary moments are generally kind of balanced out. I also, the other question I've been getting asked a lot in relation to this film is, do I believe in ghosts? And I'm really, really starting to believe that I did. I'm starting to wish that I did, because I don't have any belief in the supernatural, but I'm getting asked about it a lot, so I think I might have to make up some stories.
In the red over here, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jessica Sherwin. I was just wondering, you've been playing Harry Potter for so long, and do you ever find yourself reverting back to some of the tendencies you had playing him as an actor in this movie?
Well, no, fortunately not. That's a great question. Fortunately, I don't. I was very worried when I came to see the film finally, because I spent a lot of time looking quite frightened as Harry. That's what phase I find myself in a lot in that part. And so I was worried that playing a character who is so reactive for so much of the film, and who is reacting in fear a lot of the time, that I would end up looking very similar to how I did in Potter. But I was relieved to find, at least in my mind, that I don't think I do. I think I look very different than people have seen me look before. I think just having the glasses off, it makes a huge difference. So it's, I'm trying to think, what else? It's something you're very concerned about, particularly, when you're moving on and you're, I think it's fair to say that most actors, when they're my age and, are still learning their profession, would tend to be on stage more than on film. And so it's, you don't really have a sense of what you do because you don't watch yourself. Whereas on Potter, it's something that I've become very conscious of, is wanting to, change how I look, wanting to, it's a different character. He has a different set of responses, a different set of, visually it should be a different feel. And I think I've, it's maybe not as good as I would like, but I've achieved something towards that goal, certainly.
Right here, what's your name?